Okay. Good morning, and welcome to today's worship service. We're grateful that you're here with us today. My name is Jeremy Dambeck. I'm the service coordinator here at All Souls Church, where our mission is to seek truth, practice love, and celebrate life. Whether you're joining us for the first time or you've been a member for a long time, you are welcome here. Whatever faiths you have known or not known, whatever your heritage, you are welcome here. Whatever questions you hold, whatever truths you seek, whatever sorrow you have known, whatever joy has filled your heart, whoever you are and whomever you love, whatever your legal status or wherever you were born, you are welcome here. And now for a few announcements. I turn your attention to the notice of next Sunday's program at the bottom of the order of service and the announcements on the insert, and urge you to continue to read our weekly email blast for the dates and details of additional upcoming events and opportunities. If you're not receiving our weekly emails, please sign up for them on the clipboard in the foyer before leaving. And I invite you to stay for conversation, coffee, and a circle discussion after today's service. So Janet asked me to talk about why I'm in, and so I will. I'm in because I believe in the community that this place creates, and that's kind of it. But super happy to be here and support the work that the church does. So that's why I'm in. Are there other people who have announcements?
Good morning, I'm Alan, and I want to thank Sandrine and Sandra for being here to do this program. I used to work as a hospital chaplain, some of you know, and so I learned about advance directives at that time in another city, in another century. But anyway, we're really glad that you're doing this program, and I tried to choose songs that would have meaning. And so I chose them based on the words, and we're singing them, a couple of them to different tunes, so we can sing a familiar tune, but new words. So that's the rationale. I know that may be a challenge for some, but somebody called themselves incurably verbal, and that's what I am. So I pay attention to the words. Afterwards, our circle discussion is going to take place back there instead of up here, because we'll have a table set up, and for anyone that wants to fill out the actual forms, then you'll have that opportunity as part of our circle discussion today. And then one announcement that didn't make it into the program is we have our Thursday Spiritual Practices series, and this week it'll be relating to the human body, Thursday night at 6:30 in the library. And then next Sunday is a shortened time together, since it's a 3-day weekend. We'll have joys and concerns and remembering persons that we have loved and lost. And I talked with Gordon Scott's daughter and told her that, and she's unfortunately going to be out of town. But I told her that we will certainly remember Gordon among others next Sunday, along with our joys and concerns, and then a potluck lunch afterwards. So keep that in mind for Memorial Day weekend next Sunday. And then in a couple of days, it's Susanna's birthday, and so I have a card for Susanna on the table in back. Thank you.
Thanks, Alan. Any other announcements?
Good morning, my name is Megan. My son and I are part of an All Abilities Theater troupe this summer, and we are putting on Frozen Junior. We need 50 scarves. So if anybody is willing to knit and donate a scarf or two, that would be most helpful. Since it is Frozen, it's set in wintertime. We kind of need these by mid-July, so that's why I was just putting a bug in everyone's ear. So if you have any questions, you can see me after church.
All right, we'll proceed with the prelude. Thank you, Carol. Now we'll light the chalice. I'll ask Peter to come up I'll ask Catherine to come up and light the chalice for us. And the chalice lighting is number 440. It is a responsive reading, so I will read the plain text and you guys respond with the italics. From the fragmented world. From the fragmented world of our everyday lives, we gather together in search of wholeness. Yet we know that no branch is utterly severed from the tree of life that sustains us all. We would hold fast to all of good we inherit, even as we would leave behind us the outworn and the false. Let us labor in hope for the dawning of a new day without hatred, violence, or injustice. In this spirit we gather, in this spirit we pray. All right, we'll move on to the opening song for today, number 21, also in the gray hymnal, For the Beauty of the Earth. Now we'll move on to the first reading for today. It's number 557, also in the gray hymnal. This one also responsive, so I will read the plain text and please respond with the italics. A common destiny. All living substance, all substance of energy, being, and purpose are united and share the same destiny. All people, those we love and those we know not, are united and share the same destiny. Birth to death, we share this unity with the sun, earth, flowers of the field, snowflakes, volcanoes, and moonbeams. Our destiny, from unknown to unknown. Now I'll invite any children to come up and we'll read the story for all ages. How about now? All right, so today we have a book called Do As Talk that also kind of deals with the cycle of life. It's about some bugs that find a plant, told, as far as I can tell, in their own language. So the words are made up, but I think everybody can follow along with the story pretty easily. So here we have the scene, a couple of bugs finding that first little shoot. Oh, thank you. Do As Talk, Mazanut. Ta-ta. Do As Talk, Ma ebedau plank. Du Kimma Plank, Mazanut. Rubaba und Gribbel, Sue. Bore Icken Icky. Icky, Icky, Icky. Icky. Rubaba und Gribbel. We now have a worm over here. Here they come out with a ladder. Und Gribbel. As the plant is growing. Ru Dadadin Duda Unk Fruit. Sue. Sue. Time is passing. They're building some more onto this plant. Roop Furt. That's quite a fort they've built. There's a spider now on their fort. Vubeck, Booby Vubeck, Roop Furt. And some sort of a bird came and got the spider. Sue. Do his talk. Ooh. Oh, Ookie. Unk Gladenboot. Is Unk Gladenboot. Unk Gladenboot. Unk Scrivadelli Gladenboot. Ah. Unk Gladenboot. Is Talk Unk Gladenboot? Unk Gladenboot. The flower they're talking about. Tata Udas. Tata Icky. Tata Uki. Tata Furt. More time passes. Goes now to fall and to winter and back to spring. Do his talk. Ta-ta. Thank you. And now we'll sing the children out. In this congregation, we've found it helpful to share the ups and downs of our lives by the practice of taking a stone from a bowl, holding it in our hand, warming it, and expressing our thoughts of joy and or concern, and then placing the stone in the water so that the ripples of the water carry our joys and concerns out into the world. I will put the first stone in there, and I have Joy. So I think a lot of you guys know I work for Amtrak, the train, America's railroad. And I've been there for a while now. And when you have been in Amtrak for 10 years, you can take any train trip that you want. It's called your service anniversary trip. And so Peter and I are taking the train on Wednesday from St. Paul to Seattle, the Empire Builder. And I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be an awesome trip. I've never seen that part of the country at all. So yeah, that's my joy. Now I invite anyone else to come up and share a joy or concern.
Well, yesterday I had the joy of being in Wisconsin for my oldest granddaughter's graduation from college party, and also her husband. She's already got a teaching job in the Twin Cities, and he's going to chiropractic school there. And so stone for each of them. And I got to see all 5 of my grandchildren, all 3 of my daughters, all 3 of my sons-in-law. So it was a fun time, and thankful for safe travels. And then Janine, my wife, was able to go the other direction to Lyman County and watch her granddaughter, McKaylee, the basketball star, also be the salutatorian of her class at her graduation. So lots of joys.
Good morning. I have two things, our family has two things to celebrate. My granddaughter is graduating high school today, a year early, and my daughter is turning 37 on the 19th.
So Joy and I celebrated our anniversary on Friday. We've been married for 45 years, a good run. And we will be absent from the area for almost 3 months now, going in various places. The most important being going to Virginia to keep track of our granddaughter cat, Rose. Then we'll go to Norway and do other unimportant stuff.
Hi, I have a couple concerns. I have them coming at me from different angles this couple weeks. At Avera, we're having a major software change that takes effect at the end of the month. So change is always hard. I've been through training, I feel a little better, but still kind of nervous about it. And here at church, there's a lot of things the treasurer has to do this time of year, so I'm feeling a little pressure from that. Between next year's pledges and last year's, making sure that this year's pledges are up to date and other decisions that have to be made about next year and getting ready for that. Feeling the pressure from that. And then on the home front, we have a kind of a frenemy, I guess you'd say, who's been annoying us for a couple of years, doing things that are really concerning at like 2 or 3 in the morning, coming over and things like this. So I've finally taken out a protective order. And so I have to go to court about that next month. So all kinds of just a few little things that are pressing on me this week and so on. But I know it's going to be okay. Thanks.
I'll put in one more stone for all the joys and concerns that were left unsaid. And now we'll take a moment of silence for reflection. Next up, we have our second reading, number 468 in the gray hymnal. This one is also responsive, so I'll read the plain text and you guys respond with the italics. We need one another. We need one another when we mourn and would be comforted. We need one another when we are in despair, in temptation, and need to be recalled to our best selves again. We need one another in the hour of success, when we look for someone to share our triumphs. We need one another when we come to die, and would have gentle hands prepare us for the journey. Now we have the second song, the lyrics from number 324 to the tune of 246. Mic is not working. Now I'm very happy to introduce Sandrine and Sandra to deliver the message for today, End of Life Decisions.
Hi, everyone. So good to be here today. Working on Sundays now, it's hard to be able to attend services, so I really cherish this time with you all this morning. So I wanted to give you a little background before we dive into Advance directives. When my family and I moved to Sioux Falls in 2019, I had this deep desire to help create a community, not just socially, but also in a meaningful and authentic way. I wanted to help build spaces where people could gather and have conversations that we are often taught to avoid. Conversation about death, spirituality, sexuality, grief, caregiving, aging, and all the vulnerable parts of being human. I've always believed that when we dare to speak openly about what is considered taboo, something beautiful happens. Shame softens, fear becomes more manageable, and people realize that they are not alone. Over the years, I've tried to create these kinds of spaces here in Sioux Falls through the Women's Circles with Woo Moons, through teaching the OWL, or All Lives Sexuality Education Program, and through hosting Café Mortel, the Death Cafe, where people gather to talk openly about death and dying. What I've learned is that many people are longing for honest conversation and deeper connection around these very human experiences. And so in many ways, that journey eventually led me to chaplaincy. Becoming a hospital chaplain felt like a natural continuation of this calling, accompanying people through moments of uncertainty, vulnerability, transition, and meaning-making. And so in the hospital, I had the privilege of sitting with people and families during some of the most sacred and difficult moments of their lives. And it was through this work that I had the gift of meeting Sandra, a nurse in palliative care whose compassion and wisdom I deeply respect. In both of her work, one topic surfaced again and again, often during moments of crisis, fear, or uncertainty. It's about advance directives. We saw firsthand how important these conversations are and also how often they are postponed because they feel uncomfortable or overwhelming. But we also witnessed the peace, the clarity, and the dignity that can come when people have taken time to reflect on and communicate their wishes ahead of time. Advance directives are not just paperwork. They are conversations about values, about autonomy, about love, and about how we want to care for one another. They are a gift we can give both ourselves and the people closest to us. So it feels very meaningful for both of us today to be here together, sharing this conversation with you. And with that, I'm going to invite Sandra to speak and help us guide more into this important topic of advance directives.
Just want to thank you all for having me here today to speak about this topic because it is something that I passionately care about. I'd like to just start with a little bit about me and how I came to this work. I am a nurse. I do work in palliative care, but I became a nurse later. At 32, my dad was diagnosed with liver cancer, and my husband and I and our 18-month-old son went with him to Mayo with my mom as well. And in that journey, I learned a few things. Number one, wow, I know. Maybe I'll stand back here a little bit. Is that, maybe I'm too, okay, that's all right. You let me know if you can't hear me, okay? Okay. Are we? Okay, great. Number one was the amazing care that he received from the nurses and the communication and the care. I knew in that moment that I needed to be a nurse. Oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. Oh, sure, no problem. Okay. I don't know if we're on, though. Let me know if I'm talking loud enough for you, because here we go. Here we go. Are we there? That's okay. I don't want to scream or, there we go. All right. So I knew in my heart that I was going to be a nurse. People told me in high school I should be a nurse, and I didn't believe them. And when I went along in my journey, and I don't regret anything there, but seeing how beautifully he was taken care of was a stepping stone for me to become a nurse. The second thing I learned with that experience was that the uncertainty of what we think is going to happen can also create something beautiful. My dad was diagnosed in Aberdeen, South Dakota. Scans were done. Fast track to Mayo 2 weeks later. The plan was to do surgery and have a large part of the tumor taken out. They opened him up with a very large surgical opening to get to the liver and to do that. When they did open him, they found that it had spread. It's a very aggressive cancer, this liver cancer. And so taking out any of that tumor would not have given him more time. And so they closed him back up. And part of the care that the nurses did was to comfort us as we didn't know the unknown. They wanted to come back and talk to us when my dad was awake and could understand as well. And they did. But in that time of not knowing what was happening, those nurses did a beautiful job of helping us cope and care. A little bit about my dad. Big guy, gregarious, cared about people, wanted to make sure to bring in people that he saw were not being met or were not being seen. Very loving man. He loved to... How about if I... Nope. No, it's okay. I'm gonna talk from over here and see if we're okay. Okay? Oh, maybe. Yeah. With my dad, one of the things that he loved the most was golfing. And the joy of us having our son 7 years after our marriage was something that he cherished, and the time that he spent with our son Jack. That time was going to be short. And so when we talk further in a few minutes about what it means to live well, that will come back into play. What I'd like to really focus on during this conversation today is that our experiences inform our decisions. Each experience that we have informs our decisions. My dad chose not to do chemotherapy because he had just watched his mom die of breast cancer with all the chemo and all of the radiation. That was an experience that he had, and it affected a choice that he made. He was open to surgery if it would give him some time, but he did not want to do that kind of treatment. I went back to school after my dad died. I had a baby, another baby, my daughter, and went to school while she was just little, part-time. I love being a nurse. That experience with my dad helped me understand death. I had lost my grandmother, but the loss of my father, there was a lot of understanding that I gained in that journey through grief, and how I apply it to what I do today. Because I was able to survive that and to thrive after, I think it's important that I honor his life in what I do now. I help people. Not a mistake that he died of cancer, and I was an oncology nurse. I went through nursing school and did all of the things to all of the different areas, but I still wanted to be an oncology nurse at the end of that. And I was hired on the medical oncology floor, and I loved that. I loved taking care of people and being there for them and helping with the communication. I was introduced to palliative care and hospice while I did that work. It's sacred, that time of our life, that chapter of our life. And I wanted to be a part of that and to help and to encourage and to care for the symptoms and the conversations and the people. That is what brought me into that work. And I've been doing that for about 10 years. So I was an oncology nurse for about 5, and I've been in palliative care for about 10. In my journey in palliative care, I've had the opportunity to do training in a couple of different places, in Wisconsin and Minnesota and in South Dakota, to have conversations about advanced care planning. And so being able to talk with folks and feel comfortable in talking with folks about that topic is something that I truly enjoy because I see the peace that people have when they have that conversation and they write their questions down and they make determinations and decisions. The peace that comes from knowing that or going through that conversation is profound to me. It's very helpful because when you think about the things that you're going to do next or that you may want to do next, and you have a plan, even though that plan can change, and that's a big part of advanced care planning is that it's not a one and done. It's a constant conversation because we are living and our experiences inform our decisions. So today, I encourage you to be curious about advanced care planning. I want you to take time to reflect on your own experiences, your values, your beliefs. I want to help you in how you might select a healthcare agent and what does that mean. I also am here to help you express your wishes, not to tell you what those wishes might be, because each of us are such individuals, but to ask questions, to be curious, and to flesh out what that might mean for you as an individual. How do we transfer those wishes into something that's a document that somebody else can follow? And how do we share it? It doesn't go back in a safe or in a bank or it needs to be somewhere where it can be helpful and be honored. So, what is advanced care planning? It's really truly taking the time to plan ahead for future healthcare decisions. It's important for all of us adults. When we're thinking about healthcare decisions or future healthcare decisions, each of us as individuals have different healthcare needs. We have different things happening in our bodies. We have different genetics. We have different futures. We don't know what's coming next. And so very important to look at our family histories and what we are going through today and what we might go through in the future as those what ifs. And sometimes that's scary to think about the what ifs, but when you talk about them, as Sandrine said, it can become less scary. You know, if our wishes are not expressed, our decisions are made for us. And those decisions may not align with our choices, our values, and our families and our healthcare providers are left wondering what to do. Did they make the right choice? In my work, both in medical oncology and in palliative care, I've met hundreds of families who did not know. And I see the grief that they're already going through with somebody who may die soon, somebody who's just died. And the weight that is enough for us to carry and process. But there's an additional weight of, did I do the right thing? Did I make the right choice? We give a gift when we talk about this with our loved ones. And when I say when we talk about it, we explore those experiences, reflect on what is done, what has influenced us, what have we learned. When we can do that and pause and ask those questions, we can then begin conversations. We can begin lists. These are the questions that I need to ask, and who do I need to ask? A very big piece of this is what it means to live well to you. Each of us has a different definition of that. When we talk about living well, what I'm asking is, if you're having a good day, what are you doing? Who are you talking to? Where would you be going? When you frame these conversations in that space, in what is living well, you start to make decisions based on what would this decision do to living well? And it makes it a little bit easier to make those decisions. Some examples might be a 28-year-old who may love training for triathlons, but may not be able to imagine a serious illness or injury. It may be somebody in their 60s who may value walking the dog and being active. Maybe they're a swimmer. Or somebody in their 90s who may love being independent and be able to watch their favorite shows. Each of those life experiences require different levels of activity and participation, but all bring great satisfaction. One person may say life is only worth living if they can fish or play golf, and all that that entails, being outside, walking, being mobile, communicating. Well, somebody else's greatest joy may be listening to music and being able to read, where they don't need to be. They could be in bed. They may be sedentary most of the time, but they're satisfied because that's what living well is to them. What is acceptable to one person may not be acceptable to another. We need to honor those things. So who honors those things? Our decision maker, our person. Many people think that that is your spouse or your oldest child or the child that lives closest to you. But truly, what that agent or decision maker, who they should be, is somebody who accepts the role, who will talk with you and listen about what those wishes are, who will follow those wishes, even if they themselves don't agree with it and it's not what they would do for themselves, they still would follow through for you. Are they able to make decisions in a difficult moment? I have sat with many people and done advanced care planning. One stands out in this regard. A gentleman who had a disease that was going to be quickly progressing, and he was making plans. And I sat down in his home with his wife, and we talked through different things, and we got to this part. And when I said, "Are you able to make decisions in difficult moments?" And he started to laugh. And that was something that hadn't happened before for me. And so I paused a moment, and his wife was smiling, and he looked at her and he said, he just kind of did a little shake of his head and nod, and she was still smiling, and I'm like, okay, fill me in, help me out. She had trouble deciding what she wanted to eat on a menu because all the options were good. Right? So it was an easy decision for them. It wasn't just a check a box, it's my wife. It's going to be my brother-in-law, my wife's brother, who's going to do this because we both trust him. And we know he'll be there for us, and we know he can follow through on these decisions, but I'll talk with him. So important. Sometimes it's nobody in your family. We've had people choose neighbors because those neighbors have been neighbors for the last 30, 40 years, and they've had coffee every day for the last 20, and they know each other, and they know what they want. And that's their person who's going to make those decisions. And that's not being negative to their family. That's giving their family a gift of, this is the person who can do this. This is my wish. With that, when you are talking to your person, earlier I asked that you reflect on your cultural, religious, spiritual, personal beliefs. You may want to go get further clarification if that is a piece of it. You may want to get further clarification for your questions with a spiritual leader. Coming back to your person and talking through that. For your health, when you explore your medical care, is it your doctor? Is it your nurse practitioner? Who is that health provider that is the person you can ask questions to? Maybe it's your specialist, maybe it's your cardiologist, maybe it's your oncologist. There are very important questions that we need to ask to understand what may happen in the next 3 years, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, because knowing that information informs our decisions. If I know that this is possible, and this is possible, what I do right now may change. Important for us to live well as we do this. So, you talk to your people, you talk to your person, you complete your advance directive. Here in the state of South Dakota, we can do that and have 2 people witness it, or someone can notarize it. Where does it go then? It goes to your healthcare system. I actually encourage people to provide it to all of their healthcare systems wherever they live. If they're a snowbird, take it with them and make sure that those healthcare systems have that as well. Because if there's an emergency and you're put into an ambulance, they're likely going to take you to the closest place to give you care. So having those documents on file at those places is so important. And then as health systems, it's their responsibility to have that document, to have it easily located, and to access it and follow it. When we talk about advanced care planning being a process, we look at reviewing that at very least every decade. Every time that a loved one dies. If there's a divorce, is there a new diagnosis? Is there a decline? My mom and I had had several conversations. She completed her advance directive after going to a program at her church called Good Morning Girls. I hope that everybody has a Good Morning Girls. I think that community is just a beautiful thing. About 3 years ago, she had a seizure and had a tumor on her brain that caused that seizure. We were able to go, I went to all the doctor appointments with her, and she made her choice that she was going to have surgery and have it taken out. And we sat down before that happened, and we reviewed her advance directive, and we had a very open conversation about what she would want. She updated it. We put it on file. She had the surgery, and 2 months later, she was dancing with my son at his wedding. So it was important for her to do that, and we'll continue to update it, and I'll continue to update mine because of the work that I do and that I share it with my family. My family's like, okay, we get it. So they're well aware of what I want. I want to reiterate, our experiences inform our decisions. There are things about the documents that are helpful, that are educational, and after service, we'll be available to walk through that, talk through that. I'm very open to any questions. I just really appreciate honoring what this is, that conversation, that continued conversation, the learning, the curiosity. And so I really appreciate you allowing me to come today and talk about this. This is a topic that is important, and it's something that we all need to do. Thank you.
Thank you both for that important message. Now is the time when we ask your help to do the work of our church through an offering. And half of today's plate offering will go to support honoring ceremony for graduating Native American students. right, we may have the children come up to do a song, but I don't think they're here yet. So we'll move on to the closing song in the gray hymnal, which is number 191. Oh, thank you. We'll now read together the words to receive the offering. Give these gifts freely. We receive these gifts gratefully. We dedicate these gifts to the work of our congregation, serving human wholeness, caring for our planet, upholding religious freedom, welcoming the stranger, loving one another. Now we'll go to the closing song, number 191. Oh, we have the kids? All right. We have the kids to do their song.
Okay. I used to rule the world. Seas would rise when I gave the word. Now in the morning I sleep alone. Sweep the streets I used to own. I used to roll the dice, feel the fear in my enemy's eyes, listen as the crowd would sing. Now the old king is dead, long live the king. One minute I held the key, next the walls were closed on me, and I discovered that my castle stands upon pillars of salt and pillars of sand. I hear Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, want to know there was never an honest word. But that was when I ruled the world. It was a wicked and wild wind, blew down the doors to let me in, shattered windows and the sound of drums. People couldn't believe what I'd become. Revolutionaries wait for my head on a silver plate, just a puppet on a lonely string. Oh, who would ever want to be king? I hear Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, I know St. Peter won't call my name, never an honest word. But that was when I ruled the world. stars are singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, I know St. Peter won't call my name. Never an honest word, but that was when I ruled the world.
All right, that was great. In the interest of time, we will skip song number 191. We'll just do the closing reading, which is 696, and then we'll extinguish the chalice. To live in this world, you must be able to do three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it, and when the time comes to let it go, to let it go. Now we'll extinguish the chalice. The chalice is extinguished, but the light goes with us out into the world.